Hello and welcome to another edition of Kaleidoscope on Channels Television. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. I'm Nwaghodoh. On Kaleidoscope today, we sit with the founder, Rose of Sharon Foundation, and Flourish Africa, Mrs. Folorunsho to discuss the initiatives being carried out over the years aimed at contributing to national development. Once again, welcome to Kaleidoscope. Mrs. Folorunsho is one woman who has excelled in business and is doing her best to give back to society. So let's find out about the business side and, of course, the philanthropic side, which has birthed the Rose of Sharon Foundation and Flourish Africa.
Mrs. Folorunsho is a businesswoman and a philanthropist with a sincere desire to help the needy, a fashion icon with a unique sense of style, a loving wife, a caring mother, a doting grandmother, and a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ. She has built several companies in various sectors, including Fanfa Oil Limited, which was incorporated in September 1991 with a vision to be the leading indigenous oil and gas exploration and production company in Nigeria. Dayspring Property Development Company Limited, a real estate company with investments in different parts of the world, and Digital Reality Print, which is one of the foremost printing and corporate support service providers in sub-Saharan Africa, specializing in highly technical digital large format printing and has plans to expand in the print industry. In 2008, her philanthropic endeavors inspired the creation of the Rose of Sharon Foundation, a registered non-profit, faith-based, non-governmental organization which has over the years empowered widows, their families as well as orphans to be successful through educational programs and scholarships to university level. The program, which started with 3 widows in 2008 in southwest Nigeria, has now spread throughout the country. In a bid to empower women from all walks of life, Flourish Africa was founded, creating a community of like-minded women who share their individual experiences, encourage one another to achieve their potentials, and provide grants to female entrepreneurs to succeed.
Now let's hear more about the philanthropic side from Mrs. Folorunsho. A journey that started on the 23rd of May 2008 with just 3 widows has now turned out to be a source of joy to thousands of people, directly or indirectly. How does this make you feel?
It makes me extremely happy to be a part and parcel of the journey, right from when it started then to now. It's been a calling you wouldn't have been able to say no to, because it's a calling from God. And it has become so much a part and parcel of one's life now that looking back, you're very, very happy seeing how it's turned out and how it's continuing to turn out through the special grace of God. It has definitely changed lives. And it's always a pleasure to be a part and parcel of putting smiles on people's faces where it used to be tears and sorrow almost every day of their lives. When the widows lose their husbands, they begin a totally different life. They begin to experience marginalization, retrogression, depression, suppression, deprivation, discrimination, amongst so many others. They become vulnerable within the society. You find that society wants to take advantage of them, especially their in-laws. They find life becoming so unbearable. It's like their entire lives turned upside down, because the breadwinner has gone. And you find that while the breadwinner was there, most of these women were either housewives or they were into petty trading. Sometimes, you come across the ones that are educated. Some are stark illiterates, and some ask us to still help them to continue to go to school. And we have had turnouts of university graduates amongst them, to the glory of God. So they are, at the time we come to them, are the lowliest and poorest states that you can imagine. You find that even their health issues are problematic. They don't know where to turn. But thank God, when they do come to us, before actually, we used to go looking for them. However, now that the foundation has been able to make a name to the point that it's advertising itself to the widows, and they come looking for us. We find that we had to start right from the scratch with them. What we do for them, basically, is that we provide them with interest-free loans. Mm-hmm. We provide training, development, skills for them. We improve on that. We train them, we show them how to run their businesses and how to help them out with their careers. And some are into agriculture and aquaculture businesses. And we also look after their children. We send their children to school from whatever level that they come to us. We send them to school from primary to tertiary level, and including the orphans. Got, hundreds of orphans as well. So they are given educational development, and we give them stipends as well. The orphans, we give the orphans stipends as well. We've gone from 3 widows, actually, and we found out that we've been able to touch the lives of about 6,000 in so many different ways. And almost 2,000 of them are now resilient, able to look after themselves and look after their family, and they can hold their heads up high within the society, and they're more confident. Okay. So it has been a journey that has brought a lot of satisfaction, not just to me, the chairman and the board members, and the other board members, but to all the staff that work with us. Because seeing people who used to be dejected, but are now having smiles on their faces, wiping, the tears are turning to dancing and celebration, and the women are seeing their children graduate from university when they never ever dreamt in their lives that they could even put children through university. It's a huge change, and it's heartwarming, and it gives me a lot of pleasure as a human being.
I recall in July 2022, Flourish Africa celebrated its 5th anniversary, where you also unveiled funds of 1 billion naira to help promote female entrepreneurship. Now, how would you describe the journey so far, and what's the impact of that fund so far since it started?
Another heartwarming experience.
Oh.
In 2022, United Nations brought out a report that the world may not be able to close the gender gap by the set 2030 focus. And there was an earlier report, actually, also by the United Nations, that talked about the gender gap being women generally are not being able to access funds, about 9% in comparison to their male counterparts. 9% is a huge gap, really. You go to an institution like a bank and you want to have access to funding, credit, and because you're a woman, you're not able to access it. It's depressing, it's unfair, and we can't just fold our arms and continue looking at the situation like that. And in fact, also coming closer home, this day newspaper also reported in 2021 that 43% of businesses in Nigeria are owned by women. Out of that 43%, only 2% are able to access facilities to buttress their businesses. That's very, very depressing. Sure. And it's based on all those things that one thinks about and tries to find a way to make a difference, that made us at Flourish Africa to do something about it. So our first 5 years, we spent developing the business and careers of women, helping them to move up the ladder from wherever they were before. So there was a lot of training in those first 5 years. And the way that we had been doing it was through our conferences, our master classes, and our platform. So we give glory to God for that. And we felt that, looking back at what women experience trying to access funds, we just felt that we needed to do something about that as well, which was why last year we decided to come up with, well, it's year before now.
Yeah.
It's year before now. We initiated the 1 billion Naira grant for 2,500 women. More than 2,500 women, actually. I'll explain that a little bit later. But basically the focus was for 500 women to be trained every year. And out of that 500 women, 100 of those annually would be able to access the funding, the grant. How do they access it? Through competition. They have to vie for it. So we did the first one last year, and that first one will end July 2023. In the last 2 days, we've been sending out applications for the next batch of women for the 2023/2024 session. And within those 2 days, you won't believe it, there have been over 2,000 applications. By the time it closes on January 29, we'll be close to or more than 30,000 applications, if we judge by the first 2 days.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And it could very well be even more on a daily basis as we get on with it. Meaning that it is a positive intervention that we are making. And the Nigerian women are embracing it. And it's showing that a lot more within our society are being called upon to help to do something about it. We hope to be able to make bigger differences in their lives.
So let's talk about the future of Rose of Sharon Foundation and, of course, Flourish Africa, your platform to empower businesswomen across Africa. What are your plans for the future? Where do you see these organizations going in the next few years?
As far as the Rose of Sharon Foundation is concerned, I had started with the Southwest, and we moved to the other 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. The next phase, which is our medium-term plan, is to move to West Africa and expand our services there, which is why we need more partners to join us in this huge demand for our services. It is a huge demand for our services, actually. Can you imagine moving from 3,000 to 6,000, from 3 widows to 6,000 people, and who are enjoying as beneficiaries of the organization. So it's like a drop in the ocean, really. We also provide psychosocial supports for our widows and free medical checkups as well. We definitely are calling for support to assist us in whichever area. It doesn't matter. And there's nothing that's too small, whether it's financial, whether it's services, whether it's encouragement, whether it's spiritual, whatever, whether it's health, whatever, however, we need those supports. Wherever there are human beings, we need all of those things. So it's not a matter of, oh, that work is only for billionaires. Anything anything and everything is necessary, and everybody can do something because they are our neighbors. We can't close our eyes from them, and we all live together in one world, and we need to make life better for one another. So from West Africa, our next journey as a long-term plan would be the rest of Africa by the special grace of God. So we are on our learning curves. We're improving on what we are learning, what we are achieving. And then for Flourish Africa, it's not too far-fetched in terms of the story. We know that we're still in the first year, actually. That doesn't close. That doesn't end until July 2023. Yeah. So we intend to continue to improve on what we're doing for the next 4 years, and we find that though we say it's 500 women that are being trained, but we also make sure that we make it a little more than 500, just because there could be dropouts, and there have been dropouts. We did 520, and they dropped to 505. There was some who couldn't cope with the classes. You understand? Yeah. Because they can be intensive at times. Well, we try to make it something that's for all classes of women. So at all levels, to the glory of God.
You've been a role model to many for several years, from your journey as a leading fashion designer to delving into real estate, the printing industry, and of course oil and gas sector, where, I mean, a few women before your time dared to go into. Now you're giving back to society. I mean, what would you say to that young girl watching you right now as we speak?
Wow, nice question. To that young girl watching me speak right now, I would say, mention like a few points of advice.
Yeah.
Try very hard to make sure that you succeed in every area of whatever it is that you choose to do. Make sure that you follow your dreams and you don't give up easily. Life is full of difficulties and challenges. Don't let it weigh you down. I would say to her that she should not allow these stereotypes of the world, to keep her down. I would say to her, the stereotypes about gender, I would say to her that she can do anything, any job, any business, or go into any career that she decides to do. Oh. And she will excel in it. You understand?
Yeah.
I think I can say that I'm a living proof of that.
Sure.
So I would say to her that she should never give up. I would say to her that she can achieve as much as she wants to achieve and succeed as much as she wants to succeed in this life, that her gender has nothing to do with it whatsoever. I have an acronym for success that I can say to her right now, that would be a guide for her. It's guided me, it helped me. I put together experiences that I have learned, and as I kept on learning and experiencing, I kept on evolving my acronym. And it goes like this. I'll spell success. S, seek the Lord at all times. Trust and obey him. He's reliable and he's very dependable. You can always go to him with your heart's desires, your wants, your needs, fellowship with him, rely on him, trust him, because he's the only one that can really, truly be trusted. True. And for the you, I would say utilize your time and talent wisely, because time and talent wasted can never be regained. And when it is regained, sometimes it's through God's grace and God's intervention. C, consistently focus on your dream, on your goal. The second C, credibility and reliability must be your watchword, because unreliable and undependable people get ignored by society, actually. E, educate and train and retrain yourself, because ignorance can be very, very expensive. S, sacrifice daily to make a difference. Always go the extra mile, it pays off. And the last S, say no to discouragement agents. Always make sure that You don't accept no for an answer by never giving up. Now, having said that, I will say that some people say the sky is the limit. But I tell you, as far as I'm concerned, the sky is just your stepping stone.
Sure.
So, I'll see you at the top.
And on that note, we draw the curtains on today's edition of Kaleidoscope. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to watch past editions. Just go to youtube.com/channelsweb, click on playlist, then scroll to Kaleidoscope and watch as many editions as you wish. I'll see you again very soon. Please stay safe and thank you for watching. I'm Anne Nwaghodoh.